Progress is not made by standing still. It's born from daring to dream, innovate, and build a better world for tomorrow's generation. Good morning to our distinguished guests, President of IPS Academy, respected principal, all the dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, and all my dear friends. Today, I, Aryan Chauhan, a delighted student of Civil Engineering of IPS Academy, Institute of Engineering and Science, along with
Vikramaditya Gupta,
on behalf of IPS family, extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one to this remarkable international conference. As a student of 4th year of Civil Engineering, I am acutely aware of all the possibilities that lie ahead, not just for me, but also for my fellow students and the students who are set to graduate in or around 2025, as well as yet to come first year students. The possibilities for all of us are truly, truly promising. This conference stands as a testament to our commitment to nurturing and harnessing that potential.
throwing some shade on the Indian construction industry, which has been on an upward trajectory for several decades. We have witnessed a remarkable surge in commercial, residential, and infrastructural projects across the nation, backed by substantial investments by the government of India. Presently valued at 250 billion US dollars, this industry is poised for further growth at an annual rate of approximately 8%, projecting a value of 530 billion US dollars by 2027.
In this landscape of rapid expansion and transformation, numerical methods and experimental techniques hold the key to building infrastructure that is not only sustainable but also resilient in the face of disasters. As we convene today for this conference, let us reflect on how these advancements can shape the future of construction in India, enabling us to create a safer, more sustainable and resilient built environment.
Let us start by seeking blessing of Goddess Saraswati. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please proceed for the lamp lighting.
Now, I would request our President Architect Achal K. Chaudhary to welcome Dr. Mahavir Bidasaria with a sapling. I would request our Principal Dr. Archana Kirti Chaudhary to welcome Dr. N. K. Samadhya with a sapling. I would request our head, Dr. Amit Sharma, to welcome Dr. A.P. Singh with a sapling. I would request Mr. Vijay Baradia to welcome Dr. Wesley Golube with a sapling. I would request Dr. Mohammad Naseem to welcome Dr. Rajesh Dhakal with a sapling. I would request Dr. Ashish Neem to welcome Dr. Hemant Kaushik with a sapling. I would request Ms. Aditi Patidar to welcome Dr. Nilima Satyam with a sapling. I would request Ms. Pallavi Gupta to welcome Dr. H.K. Mayer with a sapling. I would request Ms. Richa Jain to welcome Dr. Yulia with a sapling. I would request Mr. Sunil Harne to welcome Dr. Rajesh Kumar Khare with a sapling. I would request Mr. Rajesh Chaturvedi to welcome Mr. Santosh Pal with a sapling. We request Dr. Amit Sharma sir, Head, Department of Civil Engineering, Dean Research and Development and convener of this conference at IPS Academy Institute of Engineering and Science to brief the audience about this conference.
Thank you very much. A very good morning to one and all present. On behalf of Civil IPSA family and Indian Geotechnical Society, I welcome all the dignitaries, keynote speakers, IGS members, participants, faculties, and students present offline and online. I cordially and enthusiastically invite you all for the International Conference, Numerical and Experimental Techniques on Sustainable and Disaster Resilient Infrastructures, organized by IPS Academy, Institute of Engineering Science, in association with Indian Geotechnical Society. This conference brings together experts from USA, Russia, New Zealand, Germany, China and India to share their knowledge and experience in developing sustainable infrastructure that can withstand natural disasters. Over the next few days, we will hear from keynote speakers who are at the forefront of research in this field. We will also have the opportunity to attend 6 technical sessions, which include 12 keynote speeches and 30 research papers, covering wide range of topics such as advanced numerical methods, numerical and experimental techniques for evaluating the performance of infrastructure, materials and system, and case studies of successful infrastructure resilience projects from around the world, and many more. And let not forget about the various networking available throughout the conference, where we can contact with fellow professionals and exchange ideas. Institute is signing MOU with the Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology, Russia, and University of Canterbury, New Zealand, and in the process of signing MOU with Shantou University, China, in order to exchange faculties and students for doing research, training, internship, skill development programs, joint supervisions, and many more. Here I am presenting the details of keynote speakers. In the first session, the first keynote speech will be delivered by Dr. A.P. Singh, Director, Explore Engineering Consultants Private Limited, and Honorable Secretary, IGS New Delhi, India, on deep foundation for large infra projects. Followed by a second keynote speech by Dr. Nilima Satyam, Professor, Civil Engineering Department, IIT Indore, India, on ground improvement methods for expansive subgrades. In the second session, the first keynote speech will be given by Dr. Rajesh Dhakal, Professor and Deputy Head, Department of Civil and Natural Resources Engineering, University of Canterbury, New Zealand, on numerical and experimental investigation on out-of-plane buckling of reinforced concrete structure walls. Followed by the next keynote speech of Dr. Rakesh Kumar Khare, Professor, Civil Engineering Department and Applied Mechanics, Shri GSITS Indore, India, on seismic loss estimation of multi-storied reinforced concrete frames. In the third session, the first keynote speech will be given by Dr. Katerina Blmeksheva, Professor, Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology, Russia, on grid characteristic numerical methods for modeling of low velocity impacts on fiber and fiber metal laminates. Followed by the keynote speech of Dr. Hemant Kaushik, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering and Center for Disaster Management and Research, IIT Guwahati, India, on reinventing the wheels, Assam type housing. On the next day, in the fourth session, the first keynote speech will be given by Dr. S.R. Uma, Senior Risk and Resilience Engineer, GNS Science, New Zealand, on planning for resilient infrastructure under seismic and cascading hazards. Followed by second keynote speech by Dr. Vasily Golubev, Senior Researcher and Head, Laboratory of Applied Numerical Geophysics, MIPT, Russia, on some aspects of the grid characteristics methods for the dynamic deformation problems. In the fifth session, the first keynote speech will be given by Dr. Ankit Garg, Associate Professor, Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Shantou University, China, on role of biochar and vegetation in green infrastructure. Followed by second keynote speech by Dr. Minu Teresa Abraham, Senior Researcher, RWTH Aachen University, Germany, on field investigations and numerical modeling of debris flows for disaster risk reduction. In the last session, the first keynote speech will be given by Dr. Krishna Reddy, Professor, Department of Civil Materials and Environmental Engineering, University of Illinois, Chicago, USA, on sustainable and resilient engineering. And the last keynote speech will be given by Dr. Sergey Kuznetsov, Professor, Institute of Problem in Mechanics, Moscow, Russia, on the Turkey-Syria earthquake of 6/2/2023. I hope and believe that after 2 days of delving, new gates for research for all of us will be opened. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our respected principal, Dr. Archana Kirti Chaudhary, for gracing this occasion by her presence. Ma'am, your leadership and support have been instrumental in fostering an environment of academic excellence and innovation at IPS Academy, Institute of Engineering and Science. I request Dr. Archana Kirti Chaudhary to welcome the audience.
A very good morning. A very good morning, eminent scholars, honored guests, faculties, and my dear students. It's really a great pleasure indeed for me to welcome on behalf of IPS Academy or on my personal behalf to this international conference on numerical methods and experimental techniques for sustainable and disaster resilient infrastructure, which is organized by Civil Engineering Department of our institute. So we feel honored to welcome Dr. Mahavir Bidasariya ji, Managing Director of Ferro Concrete and the icon of civil engineering, if I am not wrong. Dr. Bidasariya ji, I have no words to say. Thanks to you for your consistent support and motivation for giving the shape to this conference. In fact, rather we can say for organizing this conference. We are really grateful to have Dr. Vasily Golube, Professor MIPT Russia, Dr. Rajesh Dhakal, Professor from New Zealand, Dr. Hemant Kaushik from IIT Guwahati, came here to share their knowledge and experience and to explore better ways of educating our future technocrats. Most welcome, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep appreciation to Dr. A.P. Singh and Dr. N.K. Samadia ji, the eminent professors and authorities from Indian Geotechnical Society, for giving us opportunity to associate with Indian Geotechnical Society and helping us in giving shape to this conference. Thank you, sir. I welcome all the IGS members present here, Dr. H.K. Mayer ji for the constant support, and I would like to welcome Dr. Rakesh Khare sir, who is consistently helping us in the development of our institute, in the growth of our department. I also wish to welcome and give special thanks to Dr. Nilima Satya ma'am from IIT Indore for unconditional support and playing an instrumental role not only in organizing this conference, but also in the growth of Civil Engineering Department of our institute. Most welcome, ma'am. Welcome, Architect Achal K. Chaudhary sir, President IPS Academy, the force behind the show, and the Chairman Governing Body of our institute. All faculty members, all guests, all participants, and my dear students. IPS Academy was established in 1994, imparting quality education with the sole motto of knowledge, skill, and values. We having 16 colleges with more than 76 courses. Most of the courses are in line with national education policy also, like we offer the courses in performing arts or the music or either it may be a pharmacy or it may be a management or the computers, engineering, and so many, commerce, law, all the courses we have, excluding medicines. However, IPS Academy Institute of Engineering and Science is the first self-financing institute of Madhya Pradesh, which is UGC autonomous and affiliated to Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogiki Vishwavidyalaya Bhopal. The institute is constantly pursuing excellence in both academic and non-academic fronts under the direction of visionary members of governing body, academic council, and the board of studies. The institute is consistently focusing research and development. As an outcome, our 8 research projects are in process, sponsored by SERB DST, Government of India, in collaboration with Catholic University Hungary, National Institute of Quantum and Radiological Science and Technology Japan, University of Peradeniya Sri Lanka, National Institute of Fundamental Studies Sri Lanka, MIPT Russia, and the most important, IIT Indore. Engineering College is offering 14 undergrad and 8 grad programs The special emphasis is on outcome-based education and experiential learning. As an outcome, our UG programs are accredited by National Board of Accreditation. The academic activities concentrate on helping the students to gain an excellent theoretical knowledge base and in the development of skill to implement them. The institute is constantly reviewing setup to update and improve while making sure that students can gain thinking skill, analytical skill, interpersonal, and the most important, communication skill. In line with NEP and the AICT model curriculum, we introduce credit courses on liberal learning, foreign languages, open courses, and interdisciplinary foundation courses. Now, it will be a great honor for me to inform all present here that our institute is completing 25 glorious years on 23rd September 2024. Hence is this Silver Jubilee year, 6 international conferences are already scheduled in series, out of which first for the inauguration of the first international conference we are present here. Second one is Emerging Techno-Economic Development and Sustainable Environment in the month of January, that is 12th and 13th of January. Next is Recent Advancement in Automobile Engineering, that is scheduled on 22nd to 23rd of February. Computational, 24 of course. Computational Communication and Information Technology, 22nd to 23rd March 2024. We are planning to conduct this international conference in collaboration with IEEE. Conventional Engineering Practices in Fire, Industrial Safety and Disaster Management in the month of April, that is 16th to 18th. Then the last one is scheduled, is Recent Advances in Interdisciplinary Trends in Engineering and Application, that is the interdisciplinary in nature, scheduled at the end, that is on 19th to 20th of September 2024. Along with this, more than 10 STTPs and FDPs, I'm mentioning only which were sponsored by SERP. So we already get the approval of it. It's sponsored by SERP DST Government of India along with various national international seminars, symposiums and various other curricular and extracurricular activities. At the end, I would like to congratulate Dr. Amit Sharma, Head Civil Engineering Department and Dean Research and Development of Engineering College and all faculty and staff members of Civil Engineering for their effort to make this happen and many others who have generously given help in the process. I would like to mention here some important thing. All the members are dealing a most challenging time, and certain and all give their best and set an example of teamwork. Sir, the last date of submitting SAR, Self-Assessment Report of NBA, was 4th of September. An international conference is scheduled on 8th of September. So it was a hard time for all of us, but we do it. I request all of you to give a big round of applause for them. I hope you will have 2 most productive days of interesting and stimulating discussions. I sincerely wish that this conference will be a great success, not only as a chance to share knowledge and experience in technical education, but also as a beginning of a long and fruitful cooperation and friendship that makes a significant difference among fellow educators devoted to the most meaningful and worthwhile task of teaching and training our youth who will shape our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're privileged to have our President, Architect Achal K. Chaudhary among us today, a distinguished personality whose contributions have left an inedible mark on our institution. Sir, your tireless efforts, visionary leadership, and passion for excellence have not only shaped our college, but have inspired generations of students and faculty.
We would like to request Achal K. Chaudhary sir to bless us with your insightful work.
A very warm welcome to all the dignitaries sitting on in dais and all the members of IPS Academy family, IPS family, and all the dignitaries who have come to join this wonderful conference. It's very difficult to say something when such stalwarts, such experts are sitting over here. But definitely one thing, the most valuable thing on earth is the human life. And by doing these kind of conferences, that is the resilient infrastructure, which will save a lot of life, I think will be a wonderful job. Though lot of work has been done in this regard, but I'm very sure this will take us a step ahead. There will be lot to learn and lot to share. One thing I would like to say over here, like when we started in '94, our tagline was knowledge, skill and values. That is, along with knowledge and skill, we should provide the values, the human behavior. Now as the world has also progressed, we are also progressing, and the change in the world, we have changed our tagline. Our tagline is triple I now. That is, identify, ignite, and innovate. That means we want to move forward, we want to move towards some research work. And I'm very sure this step of engineering college will take us further on this line, because the bright faces I'm seeing, they are definitely very research proactive. With that, I congratulate Archana ma'am and her team for organizing such wonderful conference, and thank them for doing it. Means I'm very sure it will come out with very positive outcomes. And with that, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Wesley I. Golubev, Senior Research and Head, Laboratory of Applied Numerical Geophysics, Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology, Russia. We request, sir, to enrich us with your inspirational words.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm very grateful for organizers to this chance and for the invitation, and I'm very proud to be the part of this conference. The organizers have done a lot of preparation and have done a lot of work, and I hope that everything will follow their plans. And in my opinion, and I'm sure in it, that international collaboration is the key of successful educational process and research process, and that's why I hope that this conference will have a lot of positive effects. During my stay, this is my second time in India, I see again that India is a very beautiful country, and there is a very beautiful city, and there are here a lot of very kind, smart, and responsible people. Thank you once again for the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for motivating us. Dr. Rajesh Dhakal, Professor, Deputy Head of Department Civil and Natural Resources at Engineering University of Canterbury, New Zealand. We request sir to enlighten us with your insightful words.
Thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. And I'm delighted to be here, standing in front of you and just sharing some thoughts that I have about this institute that I am visiting for the second time. I came here in 2018, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in one earlier conference that I was invited to give a keynote. And that time, actually, before then, I hadn't heard about it, and I came to know a little bit about it. A young institute which has been organizing international conferences of this stature that really impressed me. And that is not common. Because believe me, all those associated with IPS Academy, you are very fortunate that, like your institute is trying to give you this level of opportunity that you can get exposure to and interact with international researchers and see what's happening around the world at the forefront of the topic in different parts of the world. So I'm really impressed, and I would like to congratulate the IPS Academy family on that regard. I think you have done very well on that regard. So I would like to extend my warm regards to all the members of the dais, dignitaries sitting in the dais. And I'm glad that actually I can make some new contacts and also reconnect with some of my old acquaintances. There are some faces that I have been familiar. And Professor Khare, really nice seeing you once again after many years. And here, IPS Academy members as well. So when I look at the topic of the conference, numerical methods and experimental techniques for sustainable and disaster resilient infrastructure, very heavy topic, although it is more focused than the title of the conference that I attended previously, which was interdisciplinary, very much interdisciplinary. But looking at the title of this conference, also I would say that it requires more than one discipline to come up with innovations and techniques that will lead us to a resilient and sustainable community and infrastructure that can save lives of people, as my predecessor, previous speaker rightly said. Actually, the forefront of the engineers' goal and aims is to safeguard the life of people in disasters. And disasters do not give us warning. They do not come with warning. So it is a part of natural phenomenon, and we have to let the nature behave in a way that it does. But we being engineers and we being innovationers, right? So what we can do is there are a lot of man-made or artificial aspects of the equation, which are the infrastructures, the structures, the roads, the bridges, the buildings, the dams that we build, we conceive, we plan. So these things should be in our control, and we can have better control on how they should behave in disasters. So regardless of how disasters come, when they come, on what extent or magnitude they come, we will have an infrastructure, a community, the built infrastructure such that they can see the challenge that is posed by the disasters. And I am sure that the knowledge that will be shared in this conference over the next 2 days will add a brick on that, ever buildings, like a pathway that we are creating, so that ultimately down the line we have a world that is almost disaster proof. So in probability sense, we cannot guarantee that anything is disaster proof, but we are getting closer to that every year and with every steps like what we have been witnessing right now, right? So with that, I would like to once again thank the organizers for inviting me and giving me this opportunity, and wish you all a very knowledgeable and fruitful conference ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words.
Dr. Hemant B. Kaushik, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering and Center for Disaster Management and Research, IIT Guwahati, India. We request, sir, to inspire us with your motivating words.
Thank you. A very good morning. A very good morning to all of you, dignitaries sitting on the dais, off the dais, and my dear students. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to come here and interact with all of you attending this very interesting conference which is organized by IPS Academy. I was really delighted to hear the theme behind IPS by Mr. Chaudhary when he said it is triple I. Identify, ignite and innovate. These such nice words. So when the institute is built up on such nice thinking, I'm sure there are greater heights that this institute is going to achieve. So my congratulations to all the organizers for organizing this very interesting conference, and my best wishes to all the students my request to all the students is to interact with the speakers. Only then this conference will be successful. The talk that we are going to give today and tomorrow, they are on diverse topics, starting from geotechnical to structural to physics-based. So many things are there. So I'm really delighted to be a part of this. I thank all the organizers to invite me here. And this is a very good opportunity for me to make new friends, to meet very old friends. For example, Professor Khare, I think we are meeting after 19-20 years. So it's a long gap, but he's the same. And of course, meeting Amit, meeting for the first time Professor Dakal, it is again a very wonderful opportunity. I heard so much about him. And of course, Professor Samadhya and others. So it's really nice to be here. And I request all the organizers and the students to make full use of this conference and make future partnerships with all the present here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Dr. A.P. Singh, Director, Explore Engineering Consultants Private Limited, Honorable Secretary at IGS New Delhi, India. We request, sir, to motivate us with your knowledgeable words.
Namaste to all of you. Respected Bitsaria sir, my teacher Samadhya sir, Chaudhary sir, Chaudhary madam, Hemant Mayyar sir, and all the invited speakers from overseas. I am seeing 3 of them on the dais. Khare sir, it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of Indian Geotechnical Society for the international work seminar, international conference organized by IPS Academy. So on behalf of Indian Geotechnical Society, I would like to express my warm wishes and hearty congratulations to Mr. Amit Sharma, Dr. Amit Sharma, HOD, Civil Engineering Department, IPS Academy, along with the entire IPS Academy management, top management, who made it possible this conference to be organized in a big way with so many international and national experts participating in this conference. And I hope this international conference, this event will provide a great platform for the practicing engineers, academicians, geologists, geoscientists, government, public authority, geotechnical personnel and students to present and discuss about the recent very relevant topic, numerical methods and experimental techniques for sustainable and disaster resilient infrastructures. Now this is the sustainable infrastructure that is the need of the age, this age. We know in the ancient time, if we go 50 years back, we find that our nature was capable of taking care of everything. It repairs herself also, and it provides a life, better life to all the people, population on the earth. But if we see in today's scenario, we can find that our population growth is such explosive that even nature has to be taken care by us only. We have to modify the nature, we have to nurture the nature because we are exploiting, and we have to make the nature so that it can take care of such a big human population on the earth. So sustainable infrastructure research is very much relevant today. And this conference is an initiative in this academy, IPS Academy, for starting the research work and everything, and so that it can lead in the subject. And I'm very happy that IPS Academy is celebrating its silver jubilee year this year. Along with us, IGS is celebrating its diamond jubilee year. So let's come together and try to celebrate golden jubilee of IGS and centenary of IGS and golden jubilee of IPS together. So, in a big day. It's my fortune. I am fortunate that two previous past presidents are here on the stage, and they have contributed a lot for the development of Indian Geotechnical Society. But as an honorary secretary, it's my duty to tell you something about the Indian Geotechnical Society main body. So IGS was established in the year 1948 as the Indian National Society for Soil Mechanics and Foundation Engineering. It became Indian Geotechnical Society, IGS, in the year 1970. The society is affiliated to International Society for Soil Mechanics and Foundation Engineering. As I said, it is currently celebrating its 75th year of establishment. So our objective and IPS objective, both are same. IGS objective is to promote the study of soil mechanics, rock mechanics, or geotechnical engineering, and through the dissemination of technical information and practical experience. And IPS having same objective, trying to come in the research, making the global sustainable, and all infrastructure and everything possible so that it takes care of the huge population on the earth. IGS offers various category of membership. We are now 5,500 members across the country, and 52 local chapters, like local chapter of Indore, which was established long back. And now its number is 52. Very soon we will get 60. So to encourage the young geotechnical engineers below 35 years, the society biennially hosts the Indian Young Geotechnical Engineering Conference. So far 9 conferences has been organized, and best paper award is given to the young engineers who takes part in that conference. The society regularly hosts prestigious international events in the field of geotechnical engineering. Society hosted the 13th International Conference on Soil Mechanics and Foundation Engineering in 1994, and 3 Asian Regional Conference in the year 60, 75 and 2007, 6 International Conference on Environmental Geotechnique at New Delhi in 2010, 6 Asian Young Geotechnical Engineers Conference AYGEC 2008 in Bangalore. IGS has signed various agreements of cooperation with many international societies like Geotechnical Society of USA, Japan, Korea, Brazil, Geo Institute of ASC, and United States of America. For the dissemination of knowledge, information and research, IGS publishes the Indian Geotechnical Journal, which has been in publication for over 53 years. Currently, the journal is published by Messrs. Springer, and now it has got an impact factor of 1.4, which is a very remarkable achievement for the journal. Because if you see, even Geotechnical Testing Journal, which is a reputed journal of ASCE, that has an impact factor of 1.6. And now within a year, after the first time we have got an impact factor of 1.4. So this is remarkable achievement for Indian Geotechnical Society. IGS also gives a few industry-sponsored prestigious awards. IGS Ferroco Terjagi Oration, that has been instituted by none other than Bidsaria sir. Messrs. Ferro Concrete Construction Company Indore. Indore should be proud of this contribution by Ferro Cement, and many other awards are given. And our yearly mega event, that is IGC, is organized every year. This is a very international conference, international type of conference. All the international and national experts participates, and it's really a mega event. And you should be very happy that Samadhiya sir is going to organize this IGC 2023 at Roorkee. I take the permission from Samadhiya sir to invite you all to come Roorkee in the December and participate in the Indian Geotechnical Conference. And from this year, after getting the experience from this conference, I am very much hopeful that you all will regularly participate and send their paper and win the best paper awards also. So that's all about the Indian Geotechnical Society. And once again, I invite all of you for IGC. And thank you IPS Academy, IGS Indore chapter for organizing such a big international conference. And a special thanks to Dr. Amit Sharma, HOD, this IPS Academy, because I have seen since last 6 months or when it was planned to organize this conference, I have seen all the hurdles, everything which Dr. Amit Sharma has faced, and now the grand show is here in the academy. So we should give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Sharma. And with this, thank you very much, IPS Academy, for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words.
Dr. N.K. Samadhiya, former President of Indian Geotechnical Society, India. We request, sir, to foster us with your encouraging words.
A very good morning to all of you. Actually, I have come here just to thank you all. Because of you, I became President of Indian Geotechnical Society, because I have got a support of IGS members of Indore chapter. So I wanted to come to Indore, but at some other previous occasion I could not come. So this time I made it a point that I will go to Indore and thank all of you. Thank you so much. As far as the Indian Geotechnical Society is concerned, Dr. A.P. Singh has already told you about the activities of Indian Geotechnical Society. Just for the students, now this geotechnical engineering is not only soil mechanics and foundation engineering, the two courses which you learn at the undergraduate level. Now it has expanded to various other interdisciplinary courses. It includes geology, it includes rock mechanics, it includes earthquake engineering. So there are a number of things nowadays. That's why the International Society for Soil Mechanics and Foundation Engineering it is renamed as International Society for Soil Mechanics and Geotechnical Engineering. So, International Society for Geotechnical and Geoenvironmental. So, there are so many aspects of engineering, civil engineering, and other branches of engineering which are coming into picture. So, those who are the aspiring, budding geotechnical engineers, I request them to be part of Indian Geotechnical Society, because this Indian Geotechnical Society has lot of things for the students also. We have started the student chapters so far we have more than 100 student chapters all over India, and we are expanding at the local chapters level also. So in Madhya Pradesh, Ujjain chapter is the recent one, that is the 52nd, and the 4th chapter in Madhya Pradesh. I have a very good connection with Indore, not only Indore, with Dr. Vidyasaria also. My first visit in Indore was in 2001 Indian Geotechnical Conference, which was organized by Vidyasaria ji and his team, including Mahir Saab is sitting here, Khare Saab is here. So, and that was a wonderful conference. And I was fortunate to receive the best PhD thesis award in Indore. So that was a great moment for me, and my brother was also came here. Actually, his son is here. He wanted to come, but because of the rains, he could not come. So, and another thing is, especially Vidyasaria ji, मैं महिमा मंडित नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but just to show the significance of such persons in the development of Indian Geotechnical Society as a whole and the geotechnical community. He is the person who has instituted the IGS Farroco award, and every 2 years it's biennial award, and the lecturer, one is from India, another is from abroad. So he has been kind enough to institute this award, and that award is, we are listening to so many great professionals of Indian of the geotechnical engineering. When I organized this conference in the memory, in the honor of Professor Bhavani Singh, who retired in 2001, and I requested Vidyasaria ji for the sponsorship. So he was the first person who gave me the sponsorship at that time. Just to add it, that in 2023 again, this Farroco Cement is the first sponsor for my Indian Geotechnical 2023 conference. So I am thankful to him. Another thing is, I became executive committee member when Dr. Vidyasaria was president. So I have a lot of connections with Dr. Vidyasaria. So thank you, sir, for helping the Indian Geotechnical Society in its growth for so many years. And another thing is, when we organized Indian Geotechnical Conference 2013, he was the IGS annual lecturer. So a lot of connections are there. So coming back to the IPS Academy, I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to be here. And I'm sure that as the topic is numerical methods and experimental techniques for sustainable and disaster resilient infrastructure, there are a lot of disasters which are happening, especially in the hilly region of India. And you must have seen that so many landslides are taking place. There is problems in the power projects which are there in the Himalaya. Now, earlier used to be, we used to model or get the response of the structure through physical modeling. But the physical models have become now very expensive, labor intensive. So that's why we have shifted for some of the parameters from physical modeling to the numerical modeling. And most of the answers, not exact, but to some extent we can get some answers from numerical methods also. But the problem with the numerical methods is that the mechanical parameters which we choose for the numerical modeling, those should be accurate or very close to the reality. Because in nature, if you talk of soil, the soil is very heterogeneous material, and in order to get the parameters for the numerical modeling, those have to be very accurate. For that, we go for the experimental techniques. We conduct few tests, and from that we obtain some of the parameters, and finally we analyze the structure. And nowadays, the sustainability in geotechnical engineering, sustainability in earthquake engineering, sustainability in structural engineering, you will find that sustainability is gaining importance, because whatever solutions we provide as engineers, those should be sustainable. And there is a lot of research which is going on in this particular area also, so you will be listening to some of the experts, especially Dr. Reddy. Tomorrow in online lecture, he will be talking about the sustainability. So finally, I would like to thank Dr. Amit Sharma for giving me this opportunity to be part of you in this wonderful conference, and I'm sure that whatever deliberations will take place, those will be highly benefited to all the youngsters, all the practitioners, and also to academicians like us also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Mahavir Bidasaria, MD, Ferroconcrete Construction Private Limited, backbone of Civil Engineering Fraternity of Indore, who has achieved great success in the field and has significantly contributed to the community and society. His achievements and dedication to their work serve as an inspiration to us all. We request, sir, to motivate us with your inspiring words.
Good morning. Dignity on the dais and of the dais, dear friends. It is my great pleasure and honor to be here in the inaugural function of this international conference, NESDRI 2023. I congratulate IPS Academy, Civil Engineering Department and its team in association with Indian Geotechnical Society headquarters and Indore chapter. Looking to the response and inspiring presence of participants in large numbers here, from academia, government bodies, professional practices, it will not only boost the morale of participants of this conference, but go a long way in the engineering fraternity of our country all over. The increasing demand of world-class infrastructure, highways, power projects, seaports, airports, massive infrastructures required by a rapidly growing economy of our country demands that engineers be at the forefront of these activities. As engineers, we know that every activity needs a solid and good foundation. I believe it is our duty to come forward and provide inputs for these projects and be a partner in the progress around us. I am sure this international conference shall prove to be a step forward in this direction. It may not be out of place to add here that our young engineers are the backbone and future of our profession. This forum will give them an opportunity to enhance their experiences, knowledge and exchange of information which will help them in their respective field. Coming to our today's conference, it is heartening to observe that lectures shall be delivered by very eminent personalities recognized worldwide. We heartily welcome them in this conference, particularly in Indore, the cleanest town of India. I also like to emphasize that the usefulness of theory and research papers could be increased many folds if it specifically mentions that how this paper is directly or indirectly related to the field practices. I hope this conference will provide right environment to the engineers and provide fruitful interaction and exchange of ideas on the latest technological advances, research results, and design innovations. I am sure participants of this conference shall go back with treasure of knowledge and information with them. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I just forgot to invite all of you for Indian Geotechnical Conference 2023, which we are organizing at IIT Roorkee. We need all your support, so please register in large number and come to Roorkee. We have organized 2000 IGC 2003, 2013, and this will be our third in which I will be associated IGC 2023. And last thing, I want a promise from you. We organized IGC 2001 at Indore, and we are, as executive committee members, we think that this IGC should be there in Indore again. So within, because we have already finalized 2 conferences, so maybe 2006 or 2007, so I will urge Mayor Saab, Neelima, Khare Saab, and of course Vidasarya ji will always be there, and all of you to bid for IGC and bring that IGC to Indore again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I would request our President, Architect Achal K. Chaudhary, to present memento to Dr. Mahavir Bidasaria. I would request our principal, Dr. Archana Kirti Chaudhary, to present memento to Dr. N.K. Samadhya. I would request our head, Dr. Amit Sharma, to present memento to Dr. A.P. Singh. I would request Mr. Harish Dwivedi to present memento to Dr. Wesley Golubev.
I would request Mr. Lalitesh Sinha to present memento to Dr. Rajesh Dhakal. I would request Ms. Swati Srivastav to present memento to Dr. Hemant Kaushik. I would request Ms. Sonam Yadav to present memento to Dr. Nilima Satyam. I would request Ms. Tanushri Sinha to present memento to Dr. H.K. Mayer.
Thank you, everyone. We request our distinguished guest, Dr. H.K. Mayer, to deliver the vote of thanks during our inaugural ceremony. Sir, your presence and insights will undoubtedly add a touch of grace and significance to this momentous occasion.
Namaskar, good morning. Today we have witnessed a grand inauguration of the International Conference on Numerical Methods and Experimental Techniques for Sustainable and Disaster Resilient Structures. This conference is being organized by IPS Academy, Indore, in association with Indian Geotechnical Society, Indore chapter, in guidance of IGS national body. IGS Indore chapter is a vibrant chapter of IGS society and has been working. It was established in 1993, and since last 30 years, we have conducted a number of conferences, expert lectures, field visits, and workshops, seminars for the fraternity of civil engineering, faculty, students. IGS Indore chapter has won the Best Chapter Award 3 times, in 1998, 2001, and 2008. The first Terzagi oration lecture was organized by IGS Indore chapter in 2008. During that conference, that lecture, an accord between IGS national body and ASC was there. The first lecture was delivered by international speaker Dr. Harry Paulus, who was the designer of the foundation of the tallest structure till now, the Burj Khalifa. It was a grand program, and immediately followed by the NSGPC, that is National Seminar on Geotechnical Problems and Case Studies. This NSGPC, we have been organizing since 1996, and we have continued it up to 2014. Unfortunately, up to 2018 we have conducted, and later on, due to COVID and all those things, we could not conduct this NSGPC. We have been conducting SHMT, that is Soil and Highway Material Testing, every year. It was initiated in 2005 and it is continued up to 2019. Now, I have been assigned the present, but at the same time, the most difficult task to propose a vote of thanks to the authorities behind the inception and organizing this international conference. I have a long list of the supporters, but don't mind that it is not in any specific order. I have a very long list, so we have to wait for a few time. You have to give some time to me. For organizing such a conference, we need the experts. The experts, you can see there are so many experts from India and abroad. So they are the real diamond of this conference. So on behalf of IPS Academy and IGS Indore chapter, I would like to extend my vote of thanks to all the speakers, namely Dr. Wesley Golubev from Russia, Dr. Rajesh Dakal from New Zealand, Dr. R.K. Khare from SGSRT Indore, Dr. Nilima Satyam from IIT Indore, Dr. Ankit Garg from China, Dr. S.R. Uma from New Zealand, Dr. Sergei Kuznetsov from Russia, Dr. Ekaterina Bekelmaishev from Russia, Dr. Hemant Kaushik from IIT Guwahati, Dr. Minu Teresa from Germany, Dr. N.K. Samadia, the National President of IGS and one of my best friend, and he was also the President of IGS National Body and Professor at IIT Roorkee, Dr. A.P. Singh, the Honorary Secretary of IGS National Body, Dr. Krishna Reddy from USA, Major Dr. Chaitanya Sangvi, Modesa, India. We have advisors for this conference. A very long list. Most of them I have included. Dr. Mahavir Vidyasaria, the only unopposed President of IGS National Body. He has been President of National Body for 2 consecutive years. It was unopposed. And under his guidance, the IGS Indore chapter has flourished. He is an instrument for the IGS Indore chapter, always ready to extend any kind of hospitality, any facility if we want in terms of manpower, finance, or anything, is always ready. So thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Anil Joseph, the current president of IGS Indore chapter, IGS National Body. We have experts from the universities and institutions like IITs, Dr. Deepak Khare from IIT Roorkee, Dr. L.M. Gupta and Dr. O.R. Jaiswal from VNIT Nagpur, Dr. U.K. Devangan from NIT Raipur, Dr. A.N. Patel, former president of IGS Indore chapter and a renowned geotechnical engineer in the Indore city. He was my guide, my mentor and my guide also. Dr. Abhay Gupta from Skeleton Consultant, New Delhi. Dr. O.P. Bhatia, former head of the Department Civil Engineering SGSRT Indore. To organize this activity, engineer architect Achal Chaudhary has provided all the facilities, including infrastructure, faculty, student, all. So I thank Dr. Achal Chaudhary also for supporting this conference. Dr. Achana Chaudhary and Kirti Chaudhary Dr. Amit Sharma. Amit Sharma is the key person behind this conference. So I would request you to give a big round of applause for Dr. Amit Sharma. I am thankful to him. I am thankful to all the executive committee members of IGS Santosh chapter and executive committee members of organizing committee members of this international conference. Mr. Vijay Badadi is there, all other faculty members, and the staff of IPS Academy. To organize such an activity, we need a team of the volunteers. And the IPS Indore has provided a number of volunteers who have been constantly working for the success of this program, and they are behind the screen. So I am thankful to them also. I am thankful to the Master of Ceremony for conducting this program in such a nice manner. To organize the activity, such an activity, we need a lot of fund. So we are fortunate to have received a number of sponsorship from various organizations. First of all, I would like to thank Messrs. Ferro Concrete Construction India Private Limited. Dr. Mahavir Vidyasari is there for extending his financial support to this program. Messrs. Safutech and KTRC have also been the instruments for sponsoring this activity. IGS New Delhi has also helped us in funding this activity. And I am also thankful to the delegates who have been registered for this conference. I have heard that 125 delegates have registered for this conference. So this is the output of the constant persuasion and hard work of the organizers of this activity. So at the last, I should have been the first. I should have given the vote of thanks first to the Almighty God, who has chosen this place for organizing this activity and has chosen me to act this to propose a vote of thanks. In the last, I would like to thank all those who are directly or indirectly involved for the success of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I would request Dr. Nilima Satyam to address the audience.
So, good morning. I don't want to drag because inaugural has been little extended as per the schedule. So, just after a vote of thanks, I don't know what to say. Everything has been covered. But I have a couple of things just to say about the conference and the team behind this. It's a huge hard work done by Dr. Amit and his team. Every time Vijay and Amit used to come to IIT, even for many times, because IIT is not so easy to reach with the construction of the highway going on. But they put a lot of efforts in thought process and taken every, aspect very carefully, starting from sponsorship, selection of the speakers, event details, and, approaching it's a huge exercise. So for that, I should congratulate. I'm very happy, to help or support Amit in whatever possible way from IIT Indore. So thank you so much to be here, and I'm very happy to see large gathering, basically less than 35 or very young participants. So this is actually the India, right? We are the youngest people in the globally and doing lot of things, and how we are processing or going ahead with every aspect in the not only in engineering, technology, every aspect we are much ahead of many nations. So I have been in Astana recently, so we have a lot of things that we are doing at IGS is also planning to have Indo-Asian workshop soon. Maybe Dr. AP just forgot it. So I just want to tell you we are having a lot of things with you also. So in addition to that, I have a couple of things for the younger groups. We have student chapters of IGS. In Indore, we have 3 places. One is at IIT Indore, one is at IPS Academy, other one is in Prestige Engineering College. So I hope you are all, some of you may be aware of it. So please do involve, because we have Plaxis Studio and 3D procured, okay, and the access will be given to the students for the research work. In addition to that, this is the 75th year of IGS. I'm just saying these things because some of the things missed by our past president and also the present honorary secretary. Being a national executive member, I feel it's responsible to just convey some of the points. So we do have this 25% waiver for the membership. Let me tell you, recently 4th chapter of MP has been inaugurated at Ujjain by Dr. Anil Joseph. It was on 5th September, and we are having 2 more chapters from the MP which are going to come up very soon. So in addition to the other activities, infrastructure in Madhya Pradesh is going to be tremendously, increasing. So many challenges are around. At IIT Indore, we are doing so many flyovers of IDA and lot of power plants projects. So, several NHA projects which are happening in the country. So we have been involved in thermal plants like MP power. So many challenges are do have. So you need to involve at the very young age for research, and also sharing your knowledge. So this platform on sustainability is going to be, I think, the best one with the present scenario of the things happening in the country. Because recently NHA is asking us how to use the fly ash in the recent construction that's happening in the Kanva road, or how to use the tiling waste materials. The Nippon Steel wants us to do something. So many sustainability aspects in materials analysis. Professor Hemant will talk on, the other things which is done at the design aspects for resilient infrastructure. So a lot of challenges to handle in the future. So we need to be ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you and invite you to actively participate in this enriching discussions and knowledge sharing on our theme, Numerical Methods and Experimental Techniques for Sustainable and Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Together, let's embark on a journey towards a brighter, more sustainable for the future of the construction industry in India. The faculty members and students and the participants of Civil Engineering Department are requested to be seated as the session continues.
All birds find shelter during the rains, but eagle avoids the rain by flying high above clouds.
A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present over here.
all birds find shelter during rains, but eagle avoids the rain by flying high above the clouds. Problems are common, but your attitude makes the difference. A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present over here. I, Manya Madhu,
And I, Yasha Yadav,
welcome you all to this international conference on numerical method and experimental technique for sustainable and disaster resilient infrastructure. So let's begin our first technical session on geotechnical and sustainable engineering. We have today with us our two keynote speakers, Dr. A.P. Singh and Dr. Nilima Satyam. It will be an honor to introduce our speaker, Dr. A.P. Singh. Dr. A.P. Singh is currently a researcher at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. His field of expertise includes earthquake engineering, geotechnical engineering, soil-structure interaction, and numerical modeling in geotechnical engineering. He is the managing director of the consultancy company, Explore Engineering Consultants, Private Limited, Noida, India, and is working since 1998 till present. He was awarded with University Medal for getting first rank in Masters in Engineering. It is our immense pleasure to have your presence in this international conference. Now, I would like to invite Dr. A.P. Singh over the stage to throw light on our today's session.
सर ये नेक्स्ट ये पॉइंट इधर करिएगा, ये नेक्स्ट और ये बैक, आगे के लिए और ये पीछे के लिए। यहाँ पे करना पड़ेगा। हाँ सर, उसका रिसीवर वहाँ पे लगा हुआ है, थोड़ा चेक कर लेते हैं। इसको बंद करते हैं।
Hello, is it coming? Yeah. Good morning, friends, and thank you for introducing me and inviting me for delivering a lecture on heavy infrastructural projects. So, I will start my talk with the basic fundamental problems of the universe. If you go to the history and see the global population, in 1955 we were 277 crores globally. Now it is 779 crores in 2020. Indian perspective, if you see, then in 1955 Indians were 41 crores, and in 2020 Indians now are 138 crores. So this clearly shows how much global explosion is there globally. So we can think of what to do just to sustain such a large population explosion. So for that, this population explosion compels the humanity to create vast growth in infrastructures. If we are less in number, we don't need much of the infrastructure what we are needing today. But since number is more, so we need more infrastructure, large infrastructure, and that infrastructure which caters everybody in a rapid way. So, global economic growth that balance the gap of demand and supply of the infrastructures. Now, just to cater such a big population growth, we need buildings. For that, residential, commercial, mixed land use, low-rise, high-rise, skyscrapers, all we need. For the transportation from one place to another, road, airport, ship and railway, tunnel, bridge, flyover, viaduct, and all component of express highway or highway are required, like ROB, RUB, VUP, BOP, then POP, FOB, etc. Again, we need power. So just to generate power, we need hydropower. For that, we need dam, tunnel, powerhouse. Again, we can get power from thermal source. So for that also we need powerhouse. And for solar power, we need infrastructure so that we are able to install solar panel. And wind energy, again, to install the wind turbine, we need infrastructures. Transmission towers, once power is generated, we need transmission towers and substations just to distribute among the users. Underground bunkers, that also need for storage space. As a civil engineer, all civil engineering structures shall base their foundation on soil. Soil is a natural and very heterogeneous material which demonstrated different characteristics spatially as well as with its depth. The stability of these infrastructures completely rely on the characteristic of soil encountered. Hence, it is of utmost importance to understand the soil and their engineering behavior. Now, just to construct those large infrastructures, we need a special type of foundation so that superstructural load is safely transferred on the ground. So piles are the robust deep foundation elements capable of carrying high axial compression, uplift and lateral loads. Pile foundations are ideal for taking care of certain unusual loading condition. What those unusual loading conditions may be? It's like lateral pressure to be taken care, and due to lateral pressure moment is created, and to take care of all lateral, vertical and moment, we need pile foundation or deep foundation just to support the structure. So this is a typical diagram of deep foundation which is used, and how when axial load or lateral load is applied, how it is going to resist and give support to the structure. Now projects, I will describe some projects, global projects which are with the deep foundations. Like this, you take this case of Juari Bridge of Konkan Railway at Goa. This is having all three types of foundations: shallow foundation, pile foundation, well foundation and well on pile foundation. So this is a very large project in Goa, and for this we cannot rely only on shallow foundation, but we have to provide deep foundation also, just to take care of all the structural loads. Another one is Bandra-Worli Sea Link. Foundation of the bridge includes 1500 mm to 2000 mm dia shaft drilled to a length of 6 meter to 34 meter in geotechnical condition that varied from highly weathered volcanic material to massive high strength rock. Another project is in Melbourne, Australia, Royal Domain. Here also a deep foundation in the form of rock socketed pile with dia 750 mm to 1500 mm has been provided. Then again, Melbourne Cricket Ground, Australia, you must have seen on the, either physically you must have seen or on TV you have seen Melbourne Cricket Ground, but many of you may not be knowing what type of foundation has been provided to this massive structure. So 600 to 1800 mm deep foundation in the form of pile has been provided up to a length of 25 meter below the ground. Then again, station redevelopment, Sydney, board pile of 600 to 1500 diameter socketed into siltstone rock is provided. Then Shenzhen Pinggang Center SPC, which is the 606 meter tall commercial building, diameter 8 to 9.5 meter of pile, up to 37 meter length has been provided. Geotechnical condition was that sedimentary clay soil and sand underlain by the completely weathered rock to slightly weathered rock were found as a subsoil strata. So in such a condition, since building was 606 meter tall, we have to provide a special type of foundation. The 8 to 9.5 meter socketed pile has been provided. Now Malau Viaduct, France, for this mega project, this is the tallest cable stayed bridge in the world, 343 meter. It has been constructed over a valley of the river Ton. Each pier composed of 4 RCC pile with diameter of 5 meter and socketed length of 10 to 15 meter and bonded together at the top by 3.5 meter thick RCC footing. So you can imagine what massive foundation has been provided to such a tallest cable stayed bridge. Another bridge in India, Signature Bridge, where an asymmetric cable stayed bridge, 154 meter high, viewing walks and 575 meter long. Most of the foundations are well foundations, but some foundations are constructed with 2 meter diameter piles inside well socketed into the rocky strata. You can think over it why pile has been provided just below the well foundation, because well foundation itself is a very large foundation and it has a capacity of taking a very huge load, but even after that, that well foundation is supported on rock socketed pile. Basoli Bridge, this is called now named as Atal Setu, bridge over river Ravi. Out of 592 meter, 350 meter is cable stayed bridge. It is visible in the picture. 2 towers are constructed on rock socketed pile. Diameter of the pile is 2.5 meter with socketed length as 26 meter. So socketing length here is 10.4 D. This is an abnormal condition of providing socketing length as related to dia. Then I will come to the some urban project like RTR flyover in New Delhi. This was having a length of 2.7 kilometer, cost 310 crore. It branches of Numerical flyover in South Delhi and aids at Army Research and Referral Hospital at Ring Road. Those going to airport, Outer Ring Road, Numerical, Vasant Kunj and RK Puram, they got benefited. This was the requirement to cater the heavy traffic in that area. So this flyover was constructed. Challenge during the field work was that scarcity of the working space. In urban projects, normally we find we don't get any space to work, to do the investigation and make the construction. So that is the biggest challenge. So we have to work within that limited space. Now survey drawing of authentic underground utilities like HT cable, CNG gas pipeline were not available. So that again is a big challenge to execute any project in urban area, in cities. So traffic diversion, that is the another problem which we have to face when we are going to construct the projects. Now this way we were able to do the investigation work, barricading was done, traffic was diverted, and by trial and error we could establish that at this place there is no underground utility. Because if underground utilities like HT cable and etc. is there, then we cannot do the investigation, we cannot make the boreholes. So that we eliminated by doing the trial, and we could do that. So for doing even a single borehole, we need a lot of effort, just due to non-availability of underground drawing of underground utilities. So this way it was done. Then we got, for this project, we got a geological surprise that was encountered in Numerical area, where subsoil variation has been observed in a stretch of 2 kilometer corridor. A total 10 boreholes in just 2 kilometer corridor have shown different subsoil strata. You can find that in BH1, rock is available, soil cover is very substantial. In BS2, again soil cover is reducing. BS3, again soil cover is reducing, means we are getting rock at a very shallow depth. Then again BH4, soil cover is increasing, again increasing, then soil cover becomes 0. So this is the surprise in strata we have got during the foundation design. So for this, the challenge was that there was so much variability in the strata that no uniform decision can be given here what type of foundation we are going to establish. Within a 2 kilometer, we found that when we have to provide pile in the soil, then pile resting on the rock, again pile socketed in the rock, and then open foundation. So all three types of foundations we have to provide: open, pile in soil, pile on the rock, and pile socketed into the rocks. And for getting the same pile capacity, we have to adopt different length of piles. So this is where variability is found, and we are not able to establish any uniform tap for the foundation design. Even after establishing this fact regarding BH1, BH2, BH3 and all borehole locations, when at a particular pier location, when piling was done, there itself we could find a different level of rock formation. So within a pile group, we have to give different length of piles socketed into the rock. So this is the effect of varying geological features in a very small stretch. So large subsurface strata variation. Almost every borehole has shown a different subsoil strata where rock level has been encountered. At the time of execution, even variations were found within a pile group, which led to make more boreholes within a pile group to mitigate the uncertainty in pile capacity and its resting levels. No uniform tap on the design process could be established. Even the execution methodology for each location was different, which obviously had a great impact on the project cost and time. Now I will take another project, which is a high-rise building at Greater Noida, which is in NCR. So multi-story residential tower, total number of floors 35 with single basement with the for the parking purpose. And this is the plan, and on the plan specific to the tower, boreholes were marked, and this way boreholes were done. Strata testing was done, and then the different layers and their properties could be established. Based on this, foundation proposals were, this is the pictorial view of this subsoil cross section, then unrecorded and uncorrected, and their range. And on this basis, this again pressure meter tests were done to establish shear parameters of soil, and with all these pile capacity was calculated, and since one basement was to be provided, so piles cutoff level was below the basement level and resting level was different. For different pile effective length of the pile, load carrying capacity of the piles were calculated, safe lateral load capacity also calculated, and accordingly the pile was designed. On the basis of this geotechnical investigation and calculation of the pile capacity on the basis of semi-empirical formulas is not only sufficient, we have to verify, validate whether we are able to get the pile capacity in the field or not. So for that pile load test is done. So this pile load test was done and again it was established. Then another big flyover at South Delhi. Here investigation was done and it was found that again rocky strata was found at the different depth. You can see this. Okay. This rock level was in one case it was minus 13 meter, another minus 19.5 meter, then 12.5, then again 17. So where we are getting large thick soil cover, there is no problem. We can provide a normal pile which can resist the lateral force also and the vertical capacity. But when we get a strata where soil cover is less, so in that case we have to totally rely on socketing length of the pile. So for that, like in this case, RP1, at RP1 position, it was the rock level was found at 12.5 meters. So this is the shallowest rock level. So for this, for all other length, lateral resistance was provided by the soil, but for this we have to provide the socketing length into the pile. So, and if we calculate the moment generated by the horizontal force at the rock level, we find that by the normal analysis, we find that it is too much. But when we do the analysis using the software, then we find the moment got diminished at the rock level, coming at the rock level. So for that moment factor at the rock top and rock bottom, we calculated the this moment and the horizontal force just acting at the interface of the soil and rock, and then a economical and efficient pile was designed. So this way this moment diagram using the software and shear diagram was created, and a moment factor and shear force factor was evaluated, and multiplying with that we got the real moment and shear force at the interface, so that socketing length is optimized. Then bridge over Narmada at Ankaleshwar, that is in Gujarat. I think Narmada flows maximum in Madhya Pradesh. So I will take two cases. One is bridge over Narmada at Ankaleshwar and another bridge over Narmada at Hosangabad. So one in MP, another in Gujarat. So we will see the difference, what are the difference for constructing the bridge. So first let's see the Ankaleshwar. Here total length of the bridge was 2.2 kilometer. Span arrangement, this was an extra dosed bridge. So that was maximum span was 75 plus 120 plus 60, 4 times, and then 48 meter span of 16 span and 9 spans. Number of carriageway were 2, double carriageway, both total width of the superstructure 21.25 meter. Then number of lanes 6 lane, structure extra dose precast box girder. Then for another it was a precast box, 2 span deck continuity. Lowest bed level was minus 3.2 meter. High tide level was plus 4.335. Here tide effect of the backwater of Narmada due to this sea, that was effective. So here design scour level at the pier location was calculated as, determined as minus 25.15 meter. That is 25 meter, that will be the scouring, that a big scouring in this thing. So taking into that scouring condition, investigation was done up to 70 meter length, because 25 meter that was the scouring length. So again 70 was the requirement of the project to do it. Many boreholes at each pier locations were done, and at BHP 11 the strata becomes critical, and that was the governing strata throughout the length of the bridge. Here we can find 0 to 2.5 meter silty sand, 16 to 20 meter silty clay, 23 to 25 meter silty sand, and below 25 meter it was a fine sand with gravel. So that was not scoreable. Upper strata, above that strata was scoreable. So we had to design the pile taking into consideration of this 25 meter scoring depth. Then near P11 pile diameter 1600 dia pile, length of the pile below cutoff level 52.5, out of 52.5, 25 meter was the scoring depth. Grade of concrete M40, reinforcement, date costing, this is the type of test. We did initial vertical load test, cyclic method, working load vertical, it was done for, working load was 1000 ton. So we need to test the pile for a vertical load of 2500 ton, total load applied 2504 ton, and then corresponding to this total settlement vertical was obtained as 11.37 mm, net settlement 5.96 mm, then rebound was 5.41. So this way initial load test was done on the 1600 dia pile for a capacity, vertical load capacity of 1000 ton, and the settlement was within permissible limit. So the length of the pile at this place where scoring depth was 25.2 meter, that comes 52 meter. So this way load test was done. This is the load test graph, settlement versus load. Then another same bridge, Narmada, over Narmada at Hosangabad. Here again it was a extra dose bridge. It was a normal bridge with 36 meter span and 36 meter long, 25 number of spans, and here design scour level was 7.5 meter. So same bridge, one where scouring effect is there, another where there is nominal scouring. So there pile was designed, tested, initial load tested and adopted. So here investigation done, then 1.5 to 30 meter it was a boulder, cobble, pebble with sand, and then 30 to 36 again same matrix, 36 to 40 boulder, cobble, pebble with sand. So this was a strata having up to 40 meter boulder, cobble, pebble with sand matrix. So this is a very tough strata from investigation point of view. It's very difficult to do investigation, but we did it. We established the parameters, and with that parameter scouring depth was calculated and effective pile length was determined and tested. So for 1200 pier locations and abutment location, dia was kept same and different capacity were calculated, and corresponding to this pile load test was done. So this is the pier formation. Typical diagram of the pile foundation design, then a typical diagram of pier as well as the pile and pile cap. Then this is the pictures of during the construction. So this is regarding two bridges over Narmada, one at Madhya Pradesh, another at Bharuch, Gujarat. So effect can be visible, scouring effect. Then another piling in soft soil at West Bengal for a VUP, though VUP is not considered a very large or heavy projects, but we have to give a special type of foundation when either we are having a very large load or we are having a very soft or very weak soil. So here structure is normal, but soil is abnormal, that is weak. So in that case we have to do a lot of exercise. So did the investigation, we find this is the strata, then corresponding to this strata pile capacity was calculated and piling was designed for the suitable as a suitable foundation system. So when the piling was done, here methodology comes into the picture. If you don't execute the very well designed, very well investigated foundation system, but execution is not up to the mark, then you are not going to get the anticipated strength of that foundation. So here what happened? They did the piling using the truck mounted rakes, and concreting was done using the using the bucket, normal bucket. So with that, when they did, and after 1 month, design load was 300 ton, for that test load 750. When they did, they found this disastrous result. Safe design load came 163 ton out of 300 ton. Skin friction was 158, and bearing was 5 ton. And bearing was not anticipated because the resting level was CH, clay strata. But how we lost the skin resistance, that became the issue. And for that, this 163, 250 ton load, the 102, 327 ton, 102 mm settlement was observed, which was not at all acceptable. So reason was found that they have used truck mounted rig, concreting was done using crane, then now the methodology of the pile was changed, drilling was done using hydraulic rig and concreting with trimmy pipe, and again at the same position with the same all diameter of the pile. After 2 months, pile load test was done. So for 300 ton again they did it, and the result was that for design this 300 ton, 285 ton skin friction was obtained, and end bearing was 15 ton. A good improvement that attributes to the methodology for executing the piling for the projects. So this way, how we execute the work, that plays an important role in the performance of the foundation. So another long elevated road. This is a big project, so need a special type of deep foundation. Highway Authority of India has proposed the construction of 4-lane elevated highway along NH28 at Gopalganj town. That is a very small town but very crowded town, and many highways were having a junction. So for that they need this elevated road to be constructed. So this is the normal location. Length 2.75 kilometer, width 21. There was already constructed 920, 1830 meter to be constructed. Again span arrangement was 49 number of 37.3 meter. Total piers with abutment were 50. So this way design was done, investigation carried out, and structural load were calculated for the different directions, like vertical load and its effect, longitudinal force, transverse force, then dead load of substructure, then dead load of superstructure, superimposed load, surface wearing. Again loading, this is the loading calculation. So for this loading conditions, for different combination 1 plus SB, combination 1 plus wind, different combinations, maximum vertical load and minimum vertical load and maximum horizontal load were calculated. So for this, just to cater this kind of loading, this quantum of loading, we need to do the pile design. So for that, this was the arrangement made for the pile group, and anticipated length of the pile was 30 meter. We thought 30 meter will suffice. Then total depth to be investigated, that 45 meter, 30 plus 15, hence 45 meter boreholes were done at all 50 locations. This is how investigation was done. This is the typical strata representing the entire stretch. Again, liquefaction potential, since it was a seismic zone, effective seismic zone, so liquefaction potential were determined, and it was established whether it is liquefiable or not. Then liquefaction analysis was done using SPT data as per IRC 1114 and IS 1893, and it was found that subsoil strata was not prone to liquefaction during, except at particular stretch which was having filled up to loose soil deposit. BS13 was the representative critical boreholes location. Corresponding to this, soil parameters were obtained after field work and laboratory testing. The ultimate capacity was calculated of 1000 mm diameter was calculated, and effective length were established. The value of ultimate load carrying capacity of cast in situ board piles of different effective lengths are tabulated. So this is the calculated capacity. Here we have taken ultimate axial load capacity. We are not going with the factored load carrying capacity of the pile. So ultimate capacity we have taken, and we have used the limit state method of the design. For that, different partial factor of safety has been adopted as per IRC 78 part 2, which has now published in 2020. So accordingly, it was decided factor of safety, partial factor of safety, and corresponding to that, pile length was calculated, and load test was done to verify this pile capacity. So if we see NBS P13 condition, 23 meter effective length, 24 and 26, the available capacity and the required capacity. That for different loading conditions, we are seeing for 23 and 24, we are not able to get required capacity in combination 2 and combination 2 plus wind and combination 3 plus wind. So to get required capacity for all the loading conditions, we were able to establish that 26 meter dia, this length of the pile was sufficient to take care of the load. So corresponding to that, initial pile load test was done, and since we were using the limit state, so in that when we calculate the pile capacity from the load test value, we can apply a different factor of safety, and we can take up to 10% of the pile as a settlement. So accordingly, normal then SB case wind east, pile load required as per IRC was this. Then pile load test was done, and this is the way pile load test carried out, and this is the applied load versus total settlement. Here we can conclude as per IRC 78, which states that pile capacity should be based on settlement equal to 10% of the pile dia. Settlement reached up to a maximum of 76 mm with test load of 1200 ton. With the above acceptance criteria, test load was reached before the allowable settlement of 100 mm. Therefore, from the test result and based on the acceptance criteria as per IRC 78, the load carrying capacity of the pile can be considered as 1200 ton, and it's safe for the design load of 670 ton. If we go with the normal condition and for the 1200 ton, we will not, if we put that normal factor of safety, so we will not get 670 ton. But since we are trying to get it for a different loading combination, and corresponding to that we are taking a different ground response, so we are able to get that capacity. Practically, diameter of the pile executive ranges from 500 to 1800, but large and super large pile up to 8.5 meter dia are also installed for mega projects. Length of the pile may range even up to or longer than 65 meter depending on demand of the project. Factors which are important for pile performance: construction methodology with quality control, knowledge of supporting subsurface strata, and load transfer mechanism of the pile. Construction methodology with quality control refers to the cleanliness of the waste from looser material as well as the construction debris and high quality concrete for the structural performance of pile. If both issues are not satisfied, we are not going to get end bearing capacity. While designing, it is presumed that soil pile interface strength is mobilized and contributes to the performance of pile. Knowledge of supporting strata is the key of the successful performance of the pile. Thank you very much for this. I think you must be convinced with me that deep foundation, that is the requirement in both the cases for the large as well as the weaker soil. So that is the only safest way to execute the projects.
Any queries?
You want to ask something? No? You want this? Any query, if anybody want to know? If anyone is having anything, then they can ask me regarding this presentation.
Thank you, sir. It was an illuminating explanatory oration which I surely guess must have enlightened everybody to today's topic of session. Now moving ahead with our second keynote speaker, I feel glad to introduce our second keynote speaker, Dr. Hemant B. Kaushik. Dr. Hemant B. Kaushik, the professor at IIT Guwahati at the Center of the Disaster Management and Research, is a leading expert in earthquake resist design and non-linear behavior of structures, retrofitting methods, seismic vulnerability, and various aspects. Notably, Dr. Hemant B. Kaushik has received the accolades such as the Best Paper Award for his research paper, Numerical Assessment of Role of Ferrocement Overlaying in Strengthening the Unreinforced Masonry Walls, and esteemed David Fischett Award for his contribution to preservation engineering. Thank you, sir, Dr. Hemant B. Kaushik, for being a co-chair for this international conference. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite our first presentation of our today's session topic.
Now we have our first presentation on assessment of flood impact and flood mapping on urban area by Akash Suresh Pawar and Rajendra Dhinkal Patil.
Hello. Good afternoon all. My paper topic is a method of assessment of flood impact and floodplain mapping on urban area. Next. What does mean flood? A flood is a general and temporary condition of a partial or a complete inundation of the normally dry land areas. Flood occurs mostly commonly from heavy rainfall when the soil is saturated. In such a condition, soil cannot absorb all the rainwaters, which is converted into surface runoff. When it reaches the water bodies like a river, lakes, channel, pipes, etc., the runoff is converted into the water discharge and volume. The figure shows the flood before and after the flood conditions. Okay. So why the flood impact assessment is necessary? Because the flood affect the public safety, property protection, infrastructural resilience, environmental conservation, economic stability, emergency response planning, urban planning, insurance and risk management, infrastructure and investment. So infrastructural investment is depends on the flood assessment, like a dam, bridges, infrastructural structures like diversion headworks, etc. You can see in this graph the number of people deaths from last 60 years. See, are near about the averagely 5,000 people are dead due to the flood condition. So according to this map, the number of deaths from the flood worldwide source. See in this map, in the India, around 1,000 to 10,000 people are died with the flood disaster. See, in the year 2022, there are 2,098 deaths occurs due to the flood. Then how to measure the flood impact? Flood impact measured by the hydrological matrix, hydraulic matrix, physical damage assessment, social and human impact, environmental impact assessment, economic impact assessment, infrastructure and critical facility impact, community and social resilience assessment, long-term impact assessment. Measuring the flood impact is a multidisciplinary process that requires the collaboration among the hydrologists, engineers, emergency responders, environmental scientists, and social scientists. Combining these methods are a matrix provider comprehensive understanding of the consequences of the flood event, facilitating the informed decision making and risk reduction strategies to decide the preventing from the flood. According to the ISO 31000, the flood can assess with the risk identification, which help to use of advanced techniques, risk analysis, that is help to management, risk evaluation and risk assessment. Then flood can classify with the impact, that is very low, medium, high and extreme categories. When flood does not affect to the human and animal survival, that is called as a very low impact. During flood situation, there is a difficult to rescue the children and old age person, that means low impact. When the human may dead in the flood depth, but they safe inside their houses, means they are safe, medium impact. High impact means the even people are there at home, but they are not safe. Rescue operation is necessary to go on the safe position. And extreme is the man-made structure may submerge into the water, even they can go for safe position. They face other issues like a flood, food, health and living issues. So other hand is the flood modeling. Why it is necessary? Because flood modeling help to assess the risk assessment, disaster preparedness, infrastructural planning, floodplain management, climate change impact assessment, insurance and risk reductions, early warning system provided for the urban area, resources allocation, environmental impact assessment and scientific research. The photograph shows the flood impact and the bottom two diagram shows the floodplain map. So what is the flood modeling? Flood modeling is a scientific and computational approach used to simulate the predict and analyze the behavior of the water during the flood event. It involves the use of mathematical and computer-based models to understand how the flood waters flow, spread and interact with the surrounding environment. Flood modeling helps assess the potential impact of the flooding, including the inundation extent, depth and velocity, and it aids in making informed decision related to the flood risk management and mitigation strategies. Uh, Especially flood modeling is identified by these three methods: spatial extent, dimensionally, and mathematically. Especially I am focusing on the 1D flood model and 2D flow model. So what is the floodplain map? A floodplain map, also known as a floodplain map or a flood hazard map, is a graphical representation of the area prone zone to the flooding during the different levels, the water discharge from the river streams and other bodies of the water. These maps are essential tool for flood risk assessment, land use planning, emergency management. Here is what you need to know about the floodplain maps. The map showing red is a very high dangerous zone and green is the showing you are in the safe zone. In my native place Dhule, there is a river named Panjra. I applying the some properties like velocity of waters and analyze the river on the river assessment software, HEC RAS software. Please play this video. So in this way, when the flow is going to the near about city, the various area is damaged due to the effect of velocity of flow. That is the floodplain map. Summary of this presentation: flood disasters kills over an average 5,000 people per year globally. Flood were responsible for 0.1% death over the past decades. This was the highly variable and ranging from 0.01 to 0.4. Death from the flood disaster have seen a large decline over the past century, from in some years millions of the deaths per year to an average 60,000 over the past decades. Historically, droughts and flood were the most fatal disaster events. Death from these events are now very low. The most deadly events today tends to the earthquake. Disaster affect those in poverty most heavily. High death tolls the tends to the centered in the low to middle income countries without the infrastructure to protect and respond the events. These are some references. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for your attentive presence. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Pawar, for the presentation. The house is open for questions now. If you have any questions, please you feel free to ask. And in the inaugural session, I requested all the students to please interact. So one question from students is compulsory. Either you come forward or I will come to you. And we don't have much time. Anyway, first question I'll ask, but from next time, be attentive. So what is the role of this flood plain mapping on disaster risk reduction?
Floodplain map is a help to identify the risk zones of the urban area which is affect infrastructural development, the role of infrastructural development, and the decide to strategy of infrastructural development.
Okay, thank you. So let's give him, yeah, please. There's a question.
So what is the specialty of this software RS Mapper?
River analysis system that is software designed by the US Army Corps. Most of the researchers refer this software for analysis of river and floodplain mapping.
Thank you, everyone. Now I would request everyone to please proceed ahead for lunch. Student, your lunch is arranged by the department at the old building at Chemical Engineering Quadrangle. All are requested to kindly proceed for the lunch.